In this video, I'll be sharing with you 7 fantastic tips, practically and energetically, that are going to guide you out of overwhelm and also bring in an awareness of whether overwhelm's become a bit of a habit. This is so key, creating businesses that have longevity and consistent growth that feel good and aligned. If you're new to my channel, big welcome. My name's Melanie, and I've been growing online businesses in the wellness world since 2011 and guiding and coaching other people to do the same too. I'm a co-owner of a yoga studio, and I'm also a Kundalini yoga teacher and meditation teacher as well. I also have online businesses to keep me busy in a good way. So I love approaching business energetically and practically to really hit that sweet spot to grow a business that feels good and feels aligned. As I go through these bullet points, it's fair to say you might know some of these too. In fact, you might even coach them out yourself. But I invite you to be here for you in this moment. Grab a pen and paper if that's helpful, and of course share this video for anyone else you think might benefit from it too. So number 1, awareness. We always start with an awareness. If you're already aware that you're feeling overwhelmed, great. If it has become a bit of a habit, you might not have realized it's something you're stepping into. So we practice awareness, and it takes vitality, it takes prana to come, instead of being in the body, to come to observing ourselves and how we're feeling. Another fantastic way to identify when we're in overwhelm is just scanning the body. You can do this in your morning routine, in meditation, starting at the top of the head, scanning all through the body, the arms, the legs, and scanning back up, not identifying in one particular place, but we're just bringing this level of awareness to ourselves. It's always worth remembering it's not a permanent state. You're not going to be here forever. Everything always moves and always changes. So as much as it might feel a huge challenge right now to be feeling overwhelmed, no, it is not forever. Number 2, when you identify that you're in overwhelm, take time to stop. Either stop as soon as you can, as soon as you feel it creeping in, or if you feel like you have this feeling of you've got to keep going, can you give yourself a time and space? It might be the end of the day, it might be start of the morning, it might be a slot that you have identified that you've got that you can give this, where you stop and you take deep breaths. And you just close down from the outside world, close down some of the senses, whether it's the sound, whether it's the smell, whether it's the eyes, just start to close down. Begin to breathe and listen. Sometimes overwhelm can come from when the mind-body races on. It races ahead without us. So see if you can identify that and bring it back to center by slowing down. As you've slowed down, you might want to offer a prayer or ask for guidance. Ask for time to slow down. Ask for help. Ask for the ability to surrender. Ask for the ability to let go. Always remember that we have the practical world and the energetic world, and always remember we can work multiple dimensions. Number 3, a more practical tip. Can you just write down everything that's going on in your mind? Just write it down as a list. Maybe it's a to-do thing. Maybe it's a mental thing. Write it all down. If it's a practical thing, ask yourself, can I delegate this? Or can this wait? Or if this didn't happen today, what's the worst that could happen? How is that going to affect me long term? If I don't do this thing now, what are the consequences? Can I ask for help? Can I ask for guidance? Having these things become more habitual in your everyday life is going to help not only get out of overwhelm, but prevent us from even being in overwhelm in the first place. If when you look at your list, you notice that it's people that are creating the overwhelm, which is so common, can you learn to communicate? Communicate what your needs are. Also communicate boundaries that you need to put in place. I can certainly identify with overwhelm. Someone who's been growing businesses all these years, and a lot of them with people and around people or for people. It's sometimes the people that become the biggest challenge, but also the biggest opportunity to learn and to grow. And when people create overwhelm, there's no point in trying to expect everyone else to change to suit us, especially if we've not even communicated what our needs are. But what we can do is shift us. We can shift our way of thinking, believing, perceiving, and also we can shift how we communicate to people. This was a big learning curve for me as someone growing businesses. And if this is something that we don't take action on as a soulful entrepreneur, it can stop us from growing our business. It can create resentment to people. It can create overwhelm. It can create stress, and it can create this feeling of, I just want to give up and let everything go. So it is important. It is crucial. Number 4, looking at that list, clear off everything that isn't necessary, that doesn't have any consequences. Clear anything that's not serving you or serving your lifestyle goals and choices or your business goals and choices. Just clear it off and look at what you've got left and begin with what they call, I don't always necessarily like this phrase, but it works, the low-hanging fruit. If I do this, it's going to maybe take the less energy, but going to create the biggest results. Start there. Always such a great place to start. Whenever I start any new business, I ask myself, what's my low-hanging fruit? What's my quickest win with the least energy that's going to give me that impetus to feel good and feel motivated? Even if it's just a short-term motivation, I'll blooming take it. And of course, as I give these tips, it can relate to business. It can also relate to personal life. So keep tuning in, even if you're not growing a business just yet. Number 5, keep asking that universal force, that universal energy for guidance, for support. Keep surrendering, keep letting go, keep that communication open. Remember that prayer is for asking and meditation is for listening. So keep that dialogue going and step into that trust, step into that faith. Yes, we are practical. We're here on planet Earth, but let's work with the energetic realms as well to release and let go of overwhelm. I created a fantastic online course, really short video, short course called Surrender and Taking Action in Your Business to really help with growing a business, because sometimes we feel we just have to take action, take action, take action, take action. But when we're hitting a bit of a brick wall or we're feeling stuck, that's a key indication that we need to bring in energy. We need to start observing. We need to start asking for guidance, for help, and work with the energies that want to support us rather than pushing against it or feeling that we always have to be in control. It's a way of letting go. It's a way of releasing. It's a way of just stepping into that feeling of bliss as well. And if you can come into that place of trust, it's so powerful in expanding business, but also taking care of self, that well-being, that mind-body connection and soul as well. Number 6, how can we prevent ourselves going into overwhelm? Well, I want to ask you that. What helps you? What do you know that if you do, it really does help? So for me, it's meditation, it's nature, it's moving my body, it's breathing, it's journaling, it's brain dumping, it's all of these things. And when I cultivate these practices in everyday life, it makes a difference. So what is it for you? It could be something completely different. Some of us really have to bring in energy into the body. We really have to move the body like cardio to feel good, to release, to let go. Some of us just need to listen to a fantastic audio by Wayne Dyer or Esther Hicks, and we're ready. We're ready to go again. What is it for you? Might be a few things. If you're not quite sure, start observing. Start trying just 1 or 2 things and seeing if that works for you. Number 7, always a fantastic tip for any challenge, any struggle, but particularly with overwhelm. Can you reframe what's going on? Remember, everything is perception. Everything is how we want to look at things. And we can always activate the positive or the negative in anything. We live on this polarized planet, so we can always choose. It takes prana, it takes energy to activate the positive. And the negative is a bit easier to get hold of. But if we've got that energy in our system and we want to choose that positive, can we reframe it? Can we look at it in a different way? Can we say, I'm excited. Actually, this is a fantastic opportunity at the beginnings. I love beginning something new. I love starting something new. It gets me excited. It gets me giddy. It might be different depending on what you're going through. And of course, if you want to go deep with any of these things, you want help or guidance, connect with me and maybe we can move forward doing one-to-ones if that's a good fit. But consider this. I've also got a meditation online course as well that you might find beneficial. And I've added into that breath work and some Kundalini yoga practices as well. So it might be worth looking at that too. So if you've got this far in the video, well done. Thank you for staying with me. Please like, subscribe, share. Of course, it helps with me growing the channel, especially being at the beginning of this. But before you go, I want to ask you a couple of things. Number one, what's one thing that you know is a key identifier for you? How do you know when you're beginning to be in overwhelm? What is it for you? Can you identify that? Because once we've identified that, we can almost stop us. We can put the brakes on before we go into full overwhelm. And number two, what works for you? What will you start implementing from this video to help guide you out of overwhelm or to help prevent you slipping into overwhelm, into a deep dive overwhelm in time? What would help you? What would help your business? It's always personal. So this is always just a guideline, but ask yourself this, consider this, take that time for you to honor this time that you've spent watching this video. Have a wonderful week. Comment below if there's any top takeaways from this or any questions. I'll definitely be in the comment box checking it out as well. Thank you. Have a wonderful week.